Before we begin, be sure to share the video. Sharing the video is very easy. Attached to this video is the share button. Press it. Copy the link or choose a social media platform and share the video. Thank you in advance. This will encourage more people to see this video. Full joy, the program. Introducing Ethiopia's Freedom Tours. What is an Ethiopian Freedom Tour? We are giving you the opportunity to visit us in Ethiopia on your terms. You pick the date, summer, spring, October, or December. It's your choice. 3 days, 5 days, 7 or 9 days. It's your choice. Several options to choose from. Tour Addis Ababa. Tour Shashamani, Hawassa and Wando Genet, Lalibela and Aksum, or a combination of them all. It's all up to you. Need more information? Check our Freedom Tour booklet. Press the link in the description or email us at priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Ethiopia Freedom Tours. When will you be coming? Let's meditate the 10th of June, 1940, which is now. This is the moment, that very day, when it was reported that Marcus Messiah Garvey would have passed. But interestingly, the day before that, it was already reported. And this is something I always highlight, that according to what we have been taught, Marcus Messiah Garvey was reading his obituary in the newspaper for the previous day. And on reading about his own passing, that is when he released his last breath and then he passed on. And this individual that speaks this about Marcus Messiah Garvey has been highlighted to be somewhat like a fraud. And this is from the brothers in the El Kevelan group that's there in London, who are very strong supporters of Messiah Garvey. But anyway, the main essence I'm highlighting here is that the 10th of June, this is the day that they would have given us for the date that Marcus Messiah Garvey would have passed on. Interestingly, Marcus Messiah Garvey was buried 3 times. Keep all of this in mind. 3 times. And then at the same time, you understand that when they returned his remains to Jamaica in the 1960s, ones were very concerned and many ones doubted that it was the remains of Marcus Messiah Garvey. In fact, I did a program on that when we highlighted the documentary on Marcus Messiah Garvey, where one of the main members of the UNIA at the time in Jamaica, he was saying in the documentary that many ones didn't believe it was Marcus Messiah Garvey, but then we decided when the casket comes, we'll just open it and look and see if it's him. And I always wonder, how on earth did they pull that one off? If this man would have passed since 1940, and we're here in 1960-something, and we're bringing this body back from England, which has been buried twice before coming back to Jamaica to be buried the 3rd time. I don't think Marcus Messiah Garvey got any special treatment any special, preservation where you could look at him and say, wow, he's well preserved. No, I don't think he was on ice. He was buried 2 times. They dug him up and put him somewhere else. So he wasn't, again, in the freezer for 20 years that his body is still preserved. So after 20 years, no special treatment. You're going to take the remains of this individual, send it back to Jamaica, and people will be able to open the casket and look and see, oh, okay, yeah, it's him for real. That's the impression you get from what the brother from the UNIA was saying on the documentary. And all I'm saying is, I'm not carrying this nowhere into spookism. I'm just showing you, as Marcus Garvey would have told us, if death has power, this is what he said: count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey that I want to be. If I die in Atlanta, my work would have only just begun. For I shall live. This is what he said. That's why he said, when Garvey dies, Garvey lives. That is why we highlight all the time Idi Amin Dada and many, many, many evidences that we can put on the table to show the connection with Marcus Messiah Garvey, Idi Amin Dada. But when Marcus Garvey dies, Marcus Garvey lives. This is Marcus Garvey's words, as we always highlight when they were burying Idi Amin Dada, according to when they said that he would have passed the 16th of August. It was the 17th of August they were making that burial early in the morning. And this is the same time frame that we are celebrating the birthday of Marcus Messiah Garvey. When Marcus Messiah Garvey dies, Marcus lives. This is just deep science and deep understanding. And again, we see the alignment in the same way that is aligned. 10th of June, 1940. The date, the literal date highlighted in the Emperor's autobiography, where he says that this is the day when we began to prepare ourselves to return to Ethiopia. It was that day, the 10th of June, 1940. We highlight this every now and again. So I'm sure anyone that is closely knitted to what we do would have heard us highlight this again prior to this program here. But the point is, this is the exile of Haile Selassie I during the time of the Italian-Ethiopian War in the 1930s going into the early 1940s. And Haile Selassie in England at the time, and of course resided in Bath. And this is after he would have already spoken to the League of Nations in 1930 and 6, and into 37, into 38, into 39. And of course, World War II would have officially begun. And it was on that day, that very day, the 10th of June, that it was reported that Hitler and Mussolini would have really officially signed an agreement to be one. And that's when Britain had to say, well, no, we can't allow this, and France and all of that. But we would have explained in an episode that we did on the Tigers Temple how England needed Ethiopia to preserve themselves in World War II, and when they were shipping out all of the gold. And Churchill said that it is necessary for us to return Haile Selassie to Ethiopia. It wasn't necessary the day before, or at least the week before, but now it's very important because Hitler is at our doorsteps. This is just the history. And again, that episode we did on the Tigers Temple on our YouTube channel, if you never got to sit and take it in, you should. As I said, it's highlighted why England the reality that England needed Ethiopia during the time of World War II. So let us look at this now. the date, the very day that Hitler is ganging up with Mussolini officially. World news is the day that we're taught that Marcus Garvey, who always speaks of this death, but that's nothing strange, he's Garvey. Look at the name, grave. It's right there, Garvey, grave, because he's the Anpu, the Anubis that says, wrap me in the mantle of the red, the black, and the green. Anpu is the one that brings Osiris back to life. Follow me good. In the whole vibration of Assad. Remember, he went into the underworld for 5 years. The same Assad that was coronated at the age of 30. 1930, yeah, but 30 and 72. 72 individuals came to his banquet and his coronation, just like the 72 nations that came to the coronation in 1930 of Emperor Haile Selassie I. The same fulfillment of the Asar, the ancient Osiris, the ancient concept of God. And these are the same crooks that took the Asar and cut him up into 16 pieces, Article 16 of the United Nations that was totally thrown out of the window, that highlighted collective security. So that was the end of that. The League was dead, according to the BBC reporter, and that is when the emperor spoke to them. It is us today, but it will be you tomorrow. The match that has been struck in Ethiopia shall burn throughout Europe. And that is exactly what was taking place. As you could see, Mussolini and Hitler would have ganged up. So we're talking 1940 now. As I said, the Osiris mystery is being fulfilled here, because in the underworld, after cut up into Article 16 pieces, remember that it is the love of his wife, Aset, that brought him back together, and it was Anpu, Anubis, wrapping him up in the mantle and bringing him back to life according to the mythos, the first mummification really, according to the mythos, Anpu, the jackal-headed god, Anubis he's called, bringing Osiris back to life, who return and conquer to become Sahu, which is the Orion constellation. I'm showing you Marcus Messiah Garvey is the Anpu, he's the Anubis, because he's the Olmec. I hope you're following me. I'm sure you are well acquainted, many of you. Our documentary, The Night of the Black Tiger. How many people, how many of you, my royal brothers and sisters, have a copy of the full-length documentary, one of my favorites, entitled The Night of the Black Tiger, which is the divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. If you do not have a copy, I will repeat, of The Night of the Black Tiger, and the night is spelled with a K at the beginning. The Night of the Black Tiger. You should contact us and say, Honorable Priest Isaac, I would like to get a copy of that documentary. I've never seen it yet. I always hear you speaking about it. The Night of the Black Tiger, the divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. It clarifies everything that we are saying here. No one can deny that we're dealing with the Olmec people in flesh. Marcus Messiah Garvey, Idi Amin, and the Olmec through the bat is connected to Anpu, the Anubis, and it's the same being, the same so-called god of the underworld that resurrects again, the one that comes before, listen to this, the forerunner of the Quetzalcoatl, the forerunner of the same Osiris and Heru, the John the Baptist, the Elijah, the forerunner of the Christ. Marcus Garvey says, look for me in the whirlwind. Elijah went up in the whirlwind. It's the same science. So when you observe this now, when Haile Selassie says, you must understand that the period of the exile represents the crucifixion. The 5 bleeding wounds from the 5th of May 36 to the 5th of May 41. Haile Selassie was speaking of. And if you comprehend, that's why the autobiography of Haile Selassie is key, then you would really comprehend the pressure and the weight on the king's shoulder, as he was the father of all of these suffering people, not just the children he had amongst him, but every Ethiopian and all the exiles all over the world. He was the man, just as a family depends on their father, their husband, the head of the household. The whole of Ethiopia was depending on the King of Kings. And it is the whole of the black world that he was doing this for, because the world itself in general would not be anything close to even what it is now if Haile Selassie I and Ethiopia would have not conquered Mussolini and the invasion. So this is a very key aspect in history. This is prophecy and spiritual. So when Marcus Messiah Garvey now comes off of the sea, the exact time when the emperor says in his memoirs that this is the day that we began to prepare ourselves to return to Ethiopia. Now you can't take that for granted. This is why we say the day Marcus Garvey met Haile Selassie. You cannot take that for granted if you understand who you're dealing with in Marcus Garvey alone. If you comprehend who you're dealing with in Emperor Haile Selassie alone and the working relationship that they have, Marcus Messiah Garvey would have connected with Haile Selassie several times and vice versa, and even the UNIA was given donations and money and sponsorship from the Ethiopian government and the Rastafari. So they have a strong relationship. This is, things we would have highlighted already. And then, of course, the European world would have intervened and started to cut off the messages that Marcus Messiah Garvey was sending to the King of Kings. All of this is history. So these brothers know each other. Diplomacy at the same time. But then on a spiritual level, that is to show there's a connection here. This is the forerunner. This is the same John the Baptist that was in prison that they say denied the Christ according to some's interpretation of what really took place. This is what I'm talking about. So when it says that Marcus Garvey came off of the sea the exact same time when Hitler and Mussolini made world news as a tag team, and then at the same time Haile Selassie says that this is the day. What we are looking at is the fulfillment of the prophecy of Anpu or Anubis wrapping Osiris and bringing him back to life. The God of the dead. When I am dead, wrap me in the mantle, in the new life I shall rise. Those of us who understand the prophet, priest, and king concept. And this is the king and this is the prophet of that Trinity there. It's the same vibration when Elijah went up into the world when he left double portion of his spirit. The same time. He didn't say, well, go home, brother, it's going to come in the mail. The same time as he was going up, a double portion came on Elisha. In the same way we speak of Abraham meeting Melchizedek. This is Elijah leaving a double portion of his spirit on Elisha. And this is just to understand the science. And Marcus Messiah Garvey didn't go anywhere. Marcus Messiah Garvey represents the God of war. The said Idi Amin, what Marcus Messiah Garvey did was to join the battle on another level, on a spiritual level. That is why the devils came together as a tag team. It's just the spirit now of Garvey hitting the earth. And that made the other devils wake up. That's why the King of Kings, the almighty archangel in flesh, could have said, well, now is my time to pack my bags. It's time to return to Ethiopia. Just using the phrase, The king ain't moving no, but we can talk. Just using the phrase to show you how the spirit of God, even in death, look for me. In death I shall have them powers there, Marcus Messiah Garvey. When I die, wrap me up and the new life I'm going to rise. That's Marcus Messiah Garvey. This ain't any old blow joke. This is Marcus Messiah Garvey. The same man that said, look to the east in Africa where Rastafari shall be crowned king. We make it sound like it's just this far out prophecy, and let's guess. Marcus Garvey knew exactly what he was saying. He spoke very highly of the young Rastafari in even the Negro world. So again, to show you this is just the spirit of reality that is right in front of us. And the spirit of Garvey, the same Idi Amin spirit, the God of war spirit, entered into the war, entered onto the battlefield. This is my point. With the emperor, is as if he joined the emperor, as if his spirit went to be with Haile Selassie on the battlefield, as Elijah went up and left a double portion again on Elisha. And this is why it was within a few days, all the gold was shipped out of England, and the emperor was on a seaplane out of London. Marcus Selassie, Jah Rastafari. So as it is the 10th of June, yes, royal family do give thanks. Marcus Messiah Garvey live, mighty prophet of all, 3 in 1 and 1 in 3. King Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Royal family, remember, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become history. And of course, it takes some real eyes to realize the real life of yes, I praise Farai, let the earth hear his voice. Most Selassie, Jah
When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up with God's wisdom sucking. To lead the millions of the heights of the triumph that you will know. Look for me in a whirlwind or a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa, to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and righteousness.
It is good that you are here to record this picture of me in my palace garden at Addis Ababa. People who see this throughout the world will realize that even in the 20th century, with faith, courage, and a just cause, David will still beat Goliath.
Priest Isaac here, and I'm here with Brother Nakaya Yahawasha. And of course, how you felt about the tour, the different places we visited, the different parks, museums, churches, the Christ Mass. Give us your experience, my Lord.
Yeah, man, and bless up, Priest Isaac Institute, for coordinating, this year, necessary and either full occasion, wherein I got the opportunity now, guidance and safety and security, to be able to forward here, into this year, I grounds, motherland, Ethiopia itself, and to touch in Ethiopia and also to touch very, very sacred grounds, such as the King's Palaces, because now I am, multiple palaces where the king, resided, meeting grounds, clothes that the king wore himself, so to touch on these different areas, go to the museums, also to the national, institutes, as well as, the space program to see what's going on, as well, ancient, traditional Ethiopia, as well as where Ethiopia is heading for the future. Definitely, Ayman, is personally encouraging Ayman self to return here and making the necessary preparations to come forward to be here. So it's not just a dream, but a reality. So I can continue to learn, because there's no way, there's so much to learn. There's no way to learn and compact everything in just one tour. So I is looking forward for the future tours, not just the next tour, but the tours up on top of the tours, up on top of the tours.
Building.
To everyone who has been asking, Priest Isaac, how can I make a contribution to the Institute? Press the link in the description and you'll get all the information that you need to do such. We truly appreciate your inquiry. For more information, email priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com.
Nearly half the population of Ethiopia now is under the age of 15, and for Haile Selassie their education has always been an obsession.
Salam Nacho to all Ethiopian religious children and parents. Introducing the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge Ethiopian History Essay Competition from the 5th of May to the 2nd of November 2026.
He's taken personal charge of the Ministry of Education, sought teachers and money for more schools from half the countries in the world, and turned one of his palaces into a university.
Children 7 to 17 will write an essay entitled "What Does Ethiopian History Mean to Me?" Prizes such as laptops and tablets to be won, trips to the Science Museum, Unity Park, and others for the full class of the winners from Aksum to Lalibela. Menelik I and Menelik II, Ethiopia's history is amongst the richest in the world. For more information, join us on most social media platforms at Priest Isaac, or email us at priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. The Ethiopian History Essay Competition. Know your heritage.
He's directly responsible for whatever schooling these youngsters get.